Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Jack Frost. So, I have seen this movie one time before and funnily enough, I actually reviewed the second one a while back before I reviewed this. I don't know why the heck I did that. That's kind of crazy, but it is what it is. What are you going to do? So, I don't remember what I said about the second one, but I'm going to get into my overall opinions of the first one now. Maybe in that review I was like, oh, this is the best movie ever. This totally sucks. I can't call it. So maybe I'll contradict myself with this video. Hopefully not, but I guess we'll mess around and find out. So my overall opinion of Jack Frost, uh, I thought it was okay. You know, it was a fun concept, and there were some fun moments, but yeah, overall, I just thought it was just all right. It wasn't, for one of these type of movies, these really campy, silly, kind of like concept slasher movies. For something like this, I need it to be like really, really, really funny. And like I said, there were some fun moments, but there 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 weren't as many as I would have liked in this type of movie. And there wasn't enough fun to be had for me to like really have a lot of fun with the movie as a whole and really enjoy the entire movie. But there were definitely some aspects that I liked. So, I didn't hate this movie by any means. And with that being said, I'm now going to get into my little plot summary. So, I'm just going to give a pretty brief plot summary. So, you have this serial killer named Jack Frost. He has been caught. He's being transported to be executed, and it's a snowy night. So the vehicle that he's in crashes into this other vehicle, and the other vehicle is containing this like acid it's being used for like secret genetic research. And you know Jack Frost gets hit with this acid after the crash or during the crash, and he pretty much like melts, and he almost like disintegrates, and he gets fused with the snow. And later on he turns into this snowman killer because we find out that the sheriff of this small town where the movie takes place, he was a guy who caught Jack Frost and put him away. So Jack Frost, since he's come back as this snowman, he has another chance to get revenge on this sheriff who caught him and put him away. And in his pursuit of the sheriff, Jack Frost is killing anyone who is getting in his way. So that's the basic plot summary. Something that I want to get into first that's a positive. I try to stay, positive in these reviews. I don't like to just like totally hate on movies. So quite a bit of the stuff that I'm going to talk about is positive stuff. So the first thing that I want to talk about are the kills. And surprisingly, there was actually a good variety of kills. And I thought the kills were pretty darn creative. So I mean, that's one of the main aspects that a slasher movie has to do well. You gotta have some unique creative kills. Also, you gotta have some variety. You don't want to just every kill to be the same old stab. Like what the heck is the point of that? It's not fun at all. So I'm gonna get into some kills that I liked here. I just have a couple here. There's it's like one of the first kills in the movie. It might be the first kill. I don't recall exactly, but this one kid, like Jack Frost gets this like sled and decapitates this kid, but kind of like makes it look like an accident. And I thought that kill was really fun and really funny because it's like a POV shot of like the sled like slowly going towards the kid, and then his head is just like flying in the air, and it's like, you know, like a pretty fake looking head. So I thought that kill was pretty darn fun, pretty darn funny. There's this kill where this woman is pretty much done up like a Christmas tree. Like Jack Frost gets all these Christmas lights, wraps them around her neck, and then he's like putting, you know, ornaments in her mouth, putting like breaking glass ornaments, like shoving them in her face, and then, you know, he like ties her up to the Christmas tree and throws like a star in her head. I mean, that's awesome stuff. It's a, you know, it's a movie about a killer snowman. You gotta throw the Christmassy kills in the mix, and that was a fantastic kill. Super creative. I mean, super festive. This kill gets me in that holiday mood. It gets me in that, you know, magical Christmas spirit. It makes me want to just go, you know, I don't know, bless someone up. Just give someone a beautiful gift. Make their day. I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. I'm trying to be funny. I could just be bombing right now. Who knows? But that kill, it was amazing. There's this one kill too where Jack Frost, he gets all these like icicles, and there's this like younger guy that he's just like shooting up with all these icicles. That kill I liked because, you know, a lot of kills in this movie, even though they are, you know, innovative and, you know, there's good variety, like a lot of the kills don't have that much gore, which is kind of a shame. But when he's shooting this kid with the icicles, you actually see a lot of blood. It's, you know, it's a good weapon. I mean, I've always been scared of like icicles. Like when I would go up north, there would be like these just enormous icicles, and I would always have this fear. I'm like, if I walk under these icicles, like, is that thing gonna kill me? Is it gonna like come down and stab me? So like this kid getting stabbed with these like projectile icicles that he's like shooting, like almost like, you know, those like ninja stars, or he's like shooting them like little bullets. Like it's a cool idea. And I mean, icicles are scary. That's one of my fears. I'm scared of heights. I'm scared of snakes. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not scared of snakes, but I am scared of icicles, man. Like you won't catch me. You won't catch me near some icicles. If there's some icicles hanging from a building, like, you best believe I'm just gonna like rock a helmet. I'll just randomly be rocking a helmet, and people will be like, "What the heck?" I'll just be rocking like a construction helmet, just while wearing like a festive holiday sweater at a Christmas gathering, and people are like, "What the heck is this guy on, man? Is this guy like tripping right now? Like, what's the deal?" But anyways, fantastic kill. And my favorite kill in the movie was Shannon Elizabeth's kill, which, I mean, if people haven't seen this movie, like, that's like the only recognizable star in this movie. Actually, there's one other guy that I've seen and stuff. The guy who was like the scientist in this. I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. I feel like he was in that Bob the Butler movie with Tom Green. I could be wrong, but I saw that like back in the day. I think that was like a kids movie with Tom Green, but I don't recall exactly. But the scientist guy, I've seen him in some stuff. But the main you know, recognizable face in this movie is Shannon Elizabeth. I think it was her first movie. That's what it says. It says that on the Wikipedia. This was her, you know, like feature film debut. And of course, you know, she's been in countless stuff. She's in, you know, the first Scary Movie. She's in American Pie 1 and 2, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and a bunch of other stuff. So, you know, it's cool to see her. Of course, a ton of people get their start in these, you know, super low budget like B horror movies. So it's cool to see, like, you know, she started out in Jack Frost direct to VHS, and you know, she went on to have this like pretty big career, so that's cool. But anyways, getting into her kill was my favorite. She's, you know, in the bathtub, and in the movie, I didn't mention this yet, but Jack Frost, he can turn from a liquid to a solid, and when he's a liquid, he's like pretty much like invulnerable, like he can't really be killed. He can only be killed when he's in like snowman form. So, you know, he turns into a liquid. He goes in this bathtub when Shannon Elizabeth is taking a bath, and you know, he always so once he goes into the bath, you know, he turns it into his full snowman self, and you know, he always has the carrot nose. The carrot is not on his nose, it's somewhere else, and he's pretty much like, he's pretty much banging Shannon Elizabeth's character, and he pretty much just bangs her to death. And I just thought that was so ridiculous. It was just the funniest thing ever. And you know, throughout the movie, Jack Frost has these one-liners. Some of them are pretty funny. Some of the one-liners fall flat, in my opinion. But he comes through with the best one-liner in the movie. After, you know, he pretty much bangs her to death, he says, I'm paraphrasing, I might not have the line exactly correct. People are going to hate on me. They're going to be like, you didn't get that line from the direct-to-VHS Jack Frost movie, right? You're not a true fan. But anyways, I'm just joking. But after he kills her, after he bangs her to death, he's like, I guess Christmas came early this year. I mean, is that not the best line ever? That's a fantastic one-liner. I got a little chuckle out of that. And yeah, I mean, now that that's all I really want to talk about the kills. Those are some of my favorites. And, you know, now that I mentioned the one-liners, I do kind of want to talk about the one-liners just for like another second. Yeah, you know, I like the fact that, you know, he's a talking killer. It's a funny, the whole movie is like a silly, funny concept, so it's like, let's give him some goofy one-liners. I really like that. And like I said, there were some good ones, but a lot of them were just kind of stupid or fell flat and didn't really do it for me. They weren't on par with, like, you know, some classic one-liners from, you know, other horror icons. Like, it's nothing like, you know, welcome to prime time, bitch, or like, don't fuck with the Chuck. Like, they're not at that status. I mean, some of them were good. Like, that Christmas Came Early one was really good, but a lot of them were just like, you know, not that great compared to other slasher villains who have, you know, comical one-liners. And, you know, people may say like, oh, well, this is like some low-budget direct-to-video movie, like you can't compare it with the big boys, but it's like, it's all in the same wheelhouse, so it's like I'm gonna compare it to like the other funny one-liners. Even like Leprechaun and like the Leprechaun movies, he has like better one-liners than Jack Frost. Like, Jack Frost had a couple good one-liners, but he didn't have the best one-liners. And it might be kind of crazy to compare his one-liners to the big boys, but you know, I don't know. That's what I'm gonna do, because you know, that stuff is like top tier. Even I don't expect this movie to have like top tier one-liners, but it's not on par at all with the one-liners. Like, there's a couple, but a lot of them are just not that great. And you know, that's like iconic stuff, so like of course I'm gonna think of like the big icons, because that's just what comes to mind. I'm not gonna like reference some super obscure stuff that no one's gonna know, even though I feel like on this channel I do a lot of kind of like obscure movies, but I think that's my style, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, so I just that's that. I just wanted to talk about the one-liners a little bit. Some of them were cool, but not the best. Um, you know, I kind of want to mention. I kind of did mention this, but I kind of want to talk about it a little bit more. You know, I think this is a really fun concept. I'm a fan of all these kind of silly slasher movies, like ridiculous uh, slasher movies, especially like the holiday themed ones. Um, you know, I feel like it's inevitable that a killer snowman movie themed around Christmas was gonna happen. So I'm glad that they made this. I love stuff like this. I just think it's so fun and funny. Like, why not make a killer snowman movie? It's like it's like funny too. It's like, how the heck did this get made? Like, it's always like interesting to think, like, what was the process? Like, how did this get greenlit? How did this get money? Like, how, like, it's cool too that like all the actors take it seriously, because of course, like, people know what the movie is, but like, they still take it seriously. They treat it like a job. Like, all the people involved take it seriously. And yeah, it's interesting how stuff like this gets made. But I mean, they probably think like, oh, we can make it cheap and we can kind of sell it because it's kind of like a gimmicky concept. Like, people will rent this around the holidays. But yeah, I think it's a fun concept. Killer snowman holiday slasher. I'm a fan of all like the holiday slasher movies. So yeah, I think it's a pretty fun and cool concept. So just wanted to give it just want to give the concept a little shout out. Um, and I'm moving on to the last thing I want to talk about here, and then I'm going to wrap things up. So the last thing is kind of a negative, and that's, like I said, for this type of movie, one of these slash movies with a just outlandish, gimmicky concept, I expect it to be extremely silly, extremely goofy. I want the comedy to be on point, and you know, I kind of want it, like, the whole movie to just be ridiculous. And this movie, like I said, there were some fun moments. The kills, were fun and kind of silly and creative, and there were some fun one-liners. There was some comedy in there, but there wasn't enough for it to like justify me spending 90 minutes of my time to watch it. It just, the overall movie was not that fun. Even though there were a couple fun moments, like, the overall movie was not that entertaining. And it could have, like, they could have went way crazier with the concept. It's like a killer snowman movie. Like, you're not taking it seriously. You can do anything, and I feel like, even though it was a funny concept and there was some comedy, they didn't do enough to make it that funny and that entertaining. It could have been way more. But at the same time, there was, budgetary restrictions. They barely had any money to do this, so that's part of it, where it's like they did the best that they could with the money and they got this movie out there, and there is some fun to be had. So I can't hate on them. I'm just pointing it out. Like, for me, for my enjoyment, for my entertainment, like, I wasn't that entertained throughout, and I thought it could have been better. And then also, I kind of briefly touched on this, but it is a slasher movie. Even though I thought the kills were pretty good, this movie had like barely any gore, barely any blood. There was a little bit, but really not that much. And of course, for some slasher movies, you don't really need that much blood or gore for it to be good. But that's more, we're talking more like the iconic movies that have a lot of suspense. For something like this, where it's like this gimmicky, goofy concept, I kind of want it to just be a bloodbath. And you know, it's not like this movie came out in the 80s, like the late 80s when like the MPAA was just censoring everything. This came out in 1997. I feel like the MPAA wasn't cracking down as much during that time, and you know, it came out direct to video, so I feel like, you know, that makes it like, okay, if it's a theatrical release, that, you know, the MPAA might be like harsher on your movie and might make you cut stuff down more, but if it's direct to video, you could just put the movie out, you know, not rated. So you could have it be way bloodier, way gorier, but you know, there was a little bit of gore, and you know, you gotta pick and choose. Like, I'm glad that there was fun kills and creative kills. Yeah, it wasn't the goriest, but what are you gonna do? But I mean, for these type of movies, I do like a lot of blood and gore, because it's not like a suspenseful, well done slasher where gore doesn't matter. Like in this type of movie, the kills and the gore and the comedy, that's the selling point. And like I said, the kills were good, but like the gore and the comedy wasn't as good as I think it should have been for this type of movie. So that kind of brought the movie down for me. And even though I did find some enjoyment in it, it wasn't that great. You know what I mean? It definitely could have been better. But yeah, I pretty much, you know, went over all my notes here and touched on all the main points that I wanted to touch on. So now I'm going to get into my recommendation, and then I'm going to peace on out. So, you know what? In terms of a recommendation, I would not recommend this movie. It's just, like I said, you know, there's a couple cool scenes, but there's not enough going on in this movie to, you know, warrant like spending 90 minutes of your life watching it. There's so many other great, you know, Christmas oriented slasher movies. I would say, you know, if you're interested in this movie, just watch some clips on YouTube of some of the best scenes, and you know, just spend your time with a better Christmas horror film, Christmas slasher film. So yeah, that's my little recommendation, and yeah, that's all I have to say about Jack Frost. So thank you all very much for watching, and peace out.